When people ask you, would you rather have a lot of money or look good? Show them this photo. Oh man, dude, I can't with this. So, the reason why I bring this up is because Leonardo DiCaprio finally broke up with his girlfriend right as she turned 25. He has a long history of doing this. Let's check out this graph. So, as you guys can see, starting from 24, someone has kept track of every single relationship that he has had. And they all start pretty young. First one, 18. He was 24. And then as soon as she turns 23, gets a new one. 20 to 25, gets a new one. Gets a new one. As you guys can see, no one over 25 is ever able to date Leonardo DiCaprio. It's actually kind of weird, you know? We see in the very last graph, this is 2018 to 2019. Camila Morone, I hope I'm saying that correctly, but she was 21 at the time, and guess what? It's 2022 now. She just turned 25, and they they recently broke up. Leo would be around, I think, around like 49, almost 50 now. Man, that is crazy. So I personally am 29, so I can no longer date Leonardo DiCaprio. But I will say, in terms of other people's age limits, is it really that strict? What is the optimal age? I'm not really too sure. So personally for me, on a dating app, for example, if I were to set my age filters, I really can't see myself going on a date with someone who hasn't graduated college yet, and bare minimum at least have like 1 or 2 years living after college. The reason why is because it's like as soon as people start talking about like what classes they're taking, like my mind just starts wandering, and like it's clearly two people not in the same world. And yeah, it's just a little weird to me, but in showbiz, the business is different. Like people don't go to college, for example, so people are more matured because they lived out in the real world for a longer time. So like if you start modeling at like 16 or something like that, which is when most people start doing that, or like start acting at around like 15 or 16, you have a lot more like accelerated development in terms of like your mental maturity, I think. So by the time you are 20, you are more mature than the person who just started their like junior year at school, for example. But it's still a little weird for me, but you know, it's a free country. You can do what you want. I wonder how other guys think about this age limit, because I've talked to a lot of my friends here, and everyone who's single right now, they share the same opinion as me. Like all my married friends, they talk to us and they're like, yo, like you guys are like going to all the clubs, hitting on all the like 20-year-olds or whatever. We're like, no, we're not. Like we're not into that. But all my married friends are into that. They're like, dude, why aren't you doing that? Like it's such a different dynamic, at least in my friend group, because all the single guys, they're like, I wouldn't hook up with someone unless they are over 25, for example. Like I'm making these dates up, but it's different for every person. But it seems like only the married folk are into the younger people. I guess because that's when they met their wives. That's when they started dating them. So maybe that could be the reason why. But dude, it's just so insane to me that this guy, it's literally that meme, you know?
That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Now, what I don't understand are the Reddit comments on this. So this was posted in our Just Neckbeard things, which looks at stuff like people with like super high standards, not very good looking, but it's obviously different here because you guys saw the Jeff Bezos pictures, right? Like everyone wants him. It doesn't matter if you're the richest guy in the world. It's like looks are very relevant, but if you sort by controversial, it's actually hilarious. People are really bashing him. It's really they're calling it creepy. They're calling it all that sort of stuff. But I feel like there isn't that big of a deal with like someone dating someone who's younger than them, no matter how big the age difference is, as long as it's like two adults, right? So how do you define adult? I guess that definition depends on the person, right? Some people it starts at a certain age. Some people it's based on looks. For me, I would say it's like a mix of both, you know, you kind of have to have both requirements to be a certain age, you know. But yeah, it's like a lot of people are really aggressive against Leonardo, which is kind of funny to me because I don't know if you guys know anyone, but most women I know, they find him really attractive. There's just no getting around that. And apparently it's a different treatment whether you're him or someone who's like really ugly or something like that. But I don't really know what his reason for doing this is. Because there are people who are attractive who are above the age of 25. Obviously, I actually wonder what his limits on hooking up is. Has he never hooked up with someone over 25? Because these are just the people he like does long-term dating with, not necessarily someone he met at some like Hollywood party, right? I wonder what his requirements for that are. It would be a very interesting thing to see. But again, my biggest hit today was, dude, it reminded me of these photos of Jeff Bezos and his girlfriend and Leonardo, and it's just like, it's so demoralizing, man, because I really look up to Jeff. I think he did some incredible things in his life, and yeah, it just shows that nothing can stop good looks. It's kind of weird, you know. He actually tweeted back at Leonardo saying, "Leo, come over here, I want to show you something." This is a real tweet. I just can't find it right now, but I did check when it came out, but it's hilarious, like the commentary. Jeff Bezos' girl literally forgot she's holding hands with the richest man in the world as soon as Leonardo DiCaprio hugged her. Oh, jeez. But yeah, what are your guys' age limits in regards to dating? Is there something too young? Is there something too old? For me, I'd say ideal age for me. I'm 29 years old. If we're talking ideal, if I had to pick something out of a list, for example, maybe around like 26 to 27, I'd say. That way, you know, they had a couple years living on their own, so they're like mentally mature, and hopefully they're like near my age. And obviously, like, youth is something that people value, both for guys and girls. So yeah, I feel like somewhere around there would be ideal, I guess. But like, there could be exceptions, you know. There's things like outside the range by a couple years, lower or higher. Doesn't really matter to me. In fact, I think the person I was into the most was actually 3 years older than me, so, but that was a long time ago. So yeah, I guess it depends on the person, but I just found this funny. This chart is just way too hilarious. But yeah, it's like, me and my friends, whenever we talk about someone like that much younger, like even like 22 or something like that, it just feels weird. I don't know. But again, different in show business when I would assume people are more mentally mature because they're like living on their own earlier than people who go to college. But yeah, that's about it for me. I'll see you guys later.